Good morning. Welcome to Kehillat Shari Torah's daily review of the laws and customs of Pesach for Wednesday, April 6th. We're up to the point in the Seder where we're talking about preparation for Hamotzi and Hamotzi itself, the actual mitzvah of eating matzah. So here we go with Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. After you finish your second cup of wine, you should wash your hands. Everyone should wash their hands and say the blessing, Asher Kidshanu b'mitzvotav, Vitzivanu al netilat yadayim. Remember that when we washed our hands earlier in the Seder, we did not wash our hands. This time we do, as we usually do for a meal before eating bread. Then we go back to the table, or we take up our position at the table. This primarily applies to the leader, I suppose, but really applies to anybody who has the once three, now 2.5 matzahs in front of them at the table. We're going to say two brachas. We're going to say a bracha hamotzi lechem min haaretz, and we're also going to say a bracha of al achilas matzah. Sher kitchanu mitzvotav. God sanctified us with His commandments and commanded us about the eating of unleavened bread. Now, when you make hamotzi on Shabbos or Yom Tov, we're supposed to have two complete loaves, to remember the double portion of manna that we received in the wilderness in the midbar. And the mitzvah of eating matzah is supposed to be lechem oni, the bread of poverty, of affliction. So there should be a broken piece of a matzah there. Now, how do we accomplish that? Oh, look at that in front of us. We have two matzahs that are whole and one that's broken. The upper and lower matzah are whole, and the middle one is broken. So once we washed our hands and completely dried them, we'll take a hold of the upper and lower matzah, one with each hand, and make the bracha hamotzi lechem min haaretz, and then let go of the bottom whole matzah and pick up with that hand the broken middle matzah and make the bracha al achilas matzah, the mitzvah of eating matzah, on that one, and then break off a piece of each one and eat them together, and do the same for everybody else at the table. If it's difficult for it to eat both at one time, so take a little piece and start with that and keep going. You have 3 or 4 minutes to eat your proper amount of matzah. It's the custom in our lands that we do not dip in salt. Usually we do dip our challah or our matzah, in whatever case may be, in salt, but on this night we do not have the taste of the matzah be the be-all and end-all. Now, someone who has trouble eating matzah is allowed to soak it in water to soften it a little bit, as long as it doesn't become dissolved entirely. And one should not let it soak for 24 hours, because then it's considered cooked matzah, and cooked matzah is not good for the matzah's mitzvah. Now, on to the next stage. We're going to do them together because they really should be done together. We should then take bitter herbs, which is an olive's worth, about an ounce worth, about amount that fits in a amount of chrein, of horseradish that fits in a kiddush cup, or a leaf and a half, something like that, of romaine, big leaves, and give that much to each person at the table. Dip it in charoses, which then shake it off so that the bitter herbs don't lose their punch. Say the bracha al achilas maror. Blessed are you, God, King of the universe, who sanctified us with His commandments and commanded us to eat bitter herb, and eat that without reclining. We did it. We ate the matzah with reclining to the left, and we eat the bitter herb without reclining. Then we take from the bottom matzah an olive's worth, about a third of a matzah, let's say, of a shmura matzah, and a similar quantity of bitter herbs. Dip it in charoses again. Put the bitter herbs between the matzah and say, this is what Hillel used to do. In the times of the temple, he used to eat the matzah and the bitter herb wrapped up together. He had a little wrap to go with the carbon Pesach. We don't have the carbon, of course, today, so we eat the rest of the ingredients as best as we can, and we're also leaning to our left. Now, these should all 3 be done in rapid succession without any interruption of talking. So whatever you're going to explain to your people, whatever you're going to explain to the guests around the Seder table, or to your family, or to yourself, you should do it before the washing, before the initial washing, so that everybody knows what to do, and you can all just follow the directions. And from there, we're going to move forward to the feast, to Shulchan Aruch, to the prepared table of Yom Tov delicacies. So tune in tomorrow, and we will talk about that. Meantime, have a wonderful day.